Wanted to create a quick video on AI in governance. And I'm going to do a series of these, and I think it's really important to start thinking about, one, just the very question of how are you as a trustee using AI for governance? And it's like everyone else in society, we are all kind of learning this at the same time. And perhaps the biggest impediment is not having the frame of mind to start thinking about how to use it. It only takes a few moments to use, and yet are there tasks that you're engaged in or that the university is engaged in that you can find a connection? And the easiest way to do that is to test it out. I don't think you need particular training in using these kinds of tools. I think it's the kind of thing is that once, exposure provides a lot of training in and of itself. And so, for example, when my generation, you first get a hold of a TV remote control, it might be just a little confusing. The first time you did word processing, the first time you used a computer, the first time you used a smartphone, whatever it is, there was training on this. But the fact is that the training doesn't really seem to make much difference. What really makes a difference is actually using the tools. So using the tools in governance is anything from basic logistics, like setting meeting times that are amenable to the most amount of people, giving that to AI as a task. The logistics of minutes and distributing the minutes and compiling the minutes and summarizing the minutes can all be handled by AI. One of our big challenges as boards is not just keeping the history of the organization and of the board itself, the recent history. You do this by rereading and refamiliarizing yourself with the minutes and the actions of the committees. Well, you can do that meeting to meeting, but it quickly makes it an insurmountable obstacle once these minutes start to be getting so involved and the agendas start getting so involved. However, having AI simply consume and summarize the activities of your board is a very easy way to leverage AI into that board space and helps you have that continuity. You don't want to have events that were talked about and discussed and plans were made and actions taken without that remembering. And part of what a trustee is remembering what was talked about, what actions were taken, and following up. And if you don't have that train of thought, you're not going to go anywhere as a governing board. However, AI can provide many parts of that that are useful for that. So the idea is it's not necessarily that it's always going to be a useful tool, and it's a moving target. But to get yourself into that mind frame of, well, what if I try it out? What if I try it out in the circumstances? And again, an easy way to do this is to do it in your own professional lives and personal lives. Again, if it doesn't work out and you're not getting anything valuable out of it, or it's better to do it on your own, well, that's fine. You've only spent a few seconds in the process. But if you ask the question, I think you'll find a surprising number of ways that you can use AI in the process. Also, in the activity of personally, professionally, and with your work at the board exploring AI, it starts giving you a feel about what it can do and can't do. And you as a governing board, as a trustee, should be well aware of what you can do. What are the limitations? Because you can ask those same questions about limitations when you're talking about the academic enterprise. All right, more to come on AI. Just wanted to sort of put it on your radar, something to think about.